South America's Amazon basin holds over 2 million square miles of dense, impenetrable rainforest. For over 2 centuries, this wilderness concealed the promise of history's ultimate prize, El Dorado. The prospect of streets paved with gold and precious stones, lying thick as gravel, lured thousands of Europe's boldest explorers deep into the continent. Very few ever returned. Armies of men starved, succumbed to tropical diseases, or simply vanished into the canopy without a trace. But the ultimate irony of their sacrifice is that despite the massive fortunes spent and the lives discarded, El Dorado was never a physical city. So if there were no golden streets or hidden temples to find, what exactly drove generations of people to lay down their lives searching for it? To understand the origin of the myth, we have to look at the Muisca people, who lived in the Andean highlands of what is now modern-day Colombia. High in those mountains lies Lake Guatavita. This nearly perfect circular crater served as the sacred heart of their civilization, and it was the site of a very specific coronation ritual. Whenever a new Muisca ruler took power, he would be stripped bare, coated in plant sap, and completely covered from head to toe in fine gold dust. We can see exactly how this ceremony looked on this intricate artifact known as the Muisca raft. The ruler, standing tall in the center, would sail out onto the lake and cast his offerings of emeralds and gold figurines into the deep water below. When the Spanish arrived and heard stories of this ritual, they gave this ruler a nickname, El Dorado, meaning the Golden One or the Golden Man. This is where the translation of culture broke down completely. To the Muisca, gold was a spiritual offering to the gods. To the arriving Europeans, it was a dangerous, overriding obsession. The Spanish had recently plundered massive, very real fortunes from the Aztec and Inca empires. Because of that recent success, they were primed to believe any local rumor involving precious metals, no matter how outlandish. As the story of the Gilded Man passed through the ranks of these highly motivated soldiers, a lethal game of telephone began. As the rumor spread, the details mutated. A single individual covered in gold dust transformed into an entire hidden metropolis forged from solid gold. Within a few decades, that imaginary city swelled even further into a massive, uncharted empire spanning the Amazon basin. A localized, peaceful indigenous tradition had been entirely rewritten by psychological contagion, providing the Europeans with a continent-spanning justification for endless conquest. The search for this phantom empire began in earnest in 1541, when Gonzalo Pizarro and Francisco de Orellana led a massive expedition out of Ecuador. The results were immediate and horrific. Thousands of enslaved indigenous people died on the march. The Spanish ran out of food entirely, eventually resorting to eating their own horses, their dogs, and even the leather from their saddles to survive. On a desperate splinter mission to find supplies, Orellana's crew mutinied. Unable to fight the brutal currents, they were swept downriver, resulting in the accidental navigation of the entire length of the Amazon River. But the worst symptom of this jungle fever came in 1559 through an explorer named Lope de Aguirre, who styled himself the Wrath of God. Driven completely insane by the search, Aguirre murdered his own commander, declared open treason against the Spanish crown, and ended up murdering his own daughter before the Spanish finally executed him. This disease wasn't strictly limited to the Spanish either. Decades later, the English explorer Sir Walter Raleigh sacrificed his political reputation, his immense wealth, and his son's life chasing the exact same phantom in Guyana. The rainforest provided the setting, but the expeditions were actually hollowed out by the ideas the men carried with them, a shared delusion that proved far more lethal than the terrain. While the explorers' suffering was self-inflicted, the collateral damage they left behind was catastrophic. The true apocalypse of El Dorado fell on the indigenous populations. In their desperate hunt for a fake city, conquistadors brought disease, slavery, and absolute slaughter to countless communities across South America.
So the question is, have we actually learned the lesson of El Dorado, or is modern society still sacrificing itself to chase impossible, destructive illusions? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries.